You will say 3, 2, 1, right? Good afternoon, everyone. I, CA Shanu Goyal, Secretary Women Members Empowerment Directorate, welcome you all to this second part of our SETU series webinar. Today we have eminent dignitaries with us, and with speakers we have CA Richa Lunia, who will take us ahead with the program. Over to you, Richa, please.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I, CA Richa K. Lunia, Secretary, Bikaner Branch of ICI, welcomes you all to this webinar on the SETU series part 2. Respected CA Kemisha Soni ma'am, Convener, Women Members Empowerment Directorate. CA Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Singhal sir, Chairman Sustainable Reporting Standards Board. CA Satish Kumar Gupta sir in absentia, Deputy Convener WMED. Our panel for the day, CA Ruchi Maheshwari ji, CA Pooja Jain ji, CA Sonu Iyer ji, and CA Manju Agarwal ji, and all our dear viewers and members present here. A very warm welcome to all of you. So, as you all were there with us yesterday in our SETU series part 1, where we discussed about the technical aspects, and we realized that how this SETU series is bridging the gap between the practicing chartered accountant firm and member of ICI. So, as a true partner in nation building, ICI has set up this WMED directorate specially for the empowerment of its women members, and this is one of its specialized program, the SETU series, on this theme of making the presence of women members felt and visible. In this program was earlier in the physical mode, but now due to the challenging times of COVID-19, since we have turned everything to virtual, so these training programs have also shifted to virtual modes. And in this series, we have uploaded a few of the videos on our Digital Learning Hub portal also. Some of them are as follows: the overview of income tax and online return filing by CA Nitika Khivani, overview of accounting and auditing by CA Shreya Jain, overview of indirect tax, because we had yesterday speaking about the accounting, auditing and GST aspects, the technical aspects. Now today we have our speakers who will be discussing on the professional opportunities for the women members. And there are 2 more videos in pipeline, which are on overview of corporate laws by CA Sneha Sachdeva and overview on international taxation by CA Meenu Agarwal. So I hope you all will take immense benefit of these videos uploaded on the DLH portal, as well as the part 2 of SETU series, which is for which we've all joined today. In today's program, we'll be covering the panel discussions on the need for upskilling and empowering the women CAs, including the flexi working opportunities, independent practices, leveraging emerging business practices, and so on. So without taking much of your time, may I please first invite CA Kemisha Soni ma'am, the convener of the Women Members Empowerment Directorate, for her opening remarks. Over to you, ma'am. Ma'am, please unmute.
So, Satish ji, welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. At the outset, I congratulate and welcome you all for joining the webcast on SETU Series 2. Let me assure again that you have taken the right decision in joining this webcast. First, I would like to welcome CA Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Singhal ji, Chairman Sustainability Accounting Standards Board, Vice Chairman Accounting Standard Board, and partner SR Batlibai and Company LLP. Apart from his vast educational and professional experience, he has authored 12 books and published several research papers and won various awards. He has socially contributed as volunteer at Can Support, working for cancer affected people, trustee at Sri Krishna Ayurvedic Hospital, Dadri, Haryana, and at Sri Vaishya Vikas Parishad, Delhi, and as trustee and volunteer at the Blind Ashram, Delhi. Sir, we welcome you in this webinar, and I'm delighted to have with us Chairman Committee for Members in Practice and Co-Convener Women Member Empowerment Directorate, CA Satish Gupta ji. I'm happy that we have amongst us CA Ruchi Maheshwari ji, CA Pooja Jain ji, CA Sonu Iyer ji, and CA Manju Agrawal ji as panel members, and CA Richa Lunia as Program Coordinator with us in today's webcast. So, and from our WMED site also, CA Shanu Goyal and Shija Rajneesh, I would recognize their presence also, and dear viewers. So, first, I would like to share about the WMED also, that the Women Member Empowerment Directorate constituted by the Council to augment women-centric programs and initiatives for making them as mainstream performers at all levels, from corporate leadership to academics to practice. And year 21-22 is marked for women participant as lead performer of mainstream profession. The main purpose of formation of WMED is to put women in a leadership role, be it in practice or corporate scenario. So, and about the strength of women members, we have 83,476 women chartered accountants, which account for an impressive 27% of the total members base. So even the number of female students is increasing with time, and today we have 40% female students registered for the course. So these numbers are encouraging for the future of the Indian accountancy profession. And also, I would like to share some initiatives of our WMED, that we have one dedicated women's portal which provides our women members a medium through which they can post their requirements and can explore flexi working option available from for them also. And certain other, we have designed some program, as Richa has shared about the Setu series. And apart from that Setu series, we have also designed women entrepreneurship program also, and then women independent directors program also, then faculty development program. We have given name of that program train the trainer, because we have so many certificate course and PQC course at ICI level also. So our women member can be there as a faculty also. So that faculty development program also we have designed, and one program specifically for our women, program on work life balance amongst married women CS. So these some programs what our member can get all detail in virtual mode also, we have uploaded on digital learning hub also. And with this, I am happy to share one more initiative, that women member empowerment directorate jointly with our CLCG committee is publishing a handbook on role of women director for the benefit of members who are or are desirous to holding a position of director or independent director on board of companies. So these are some initiatives what I have shared with you all. And today we have with us eminent personalities for this webinar. So without taking much of your time, now I would request all participants take maximum benefit of our today's webinar and keep connected with ICI to know about various initiatives of ICI specifically initiated for you. And I look forward to working with all of you and invite your ideas to take up more constructive initiative for the development of our women members, and hope that today's program will leave you more enlightened and knowledgeable. So wishing you all the best. Stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now over to Richa.
Thank you so much, Kemisha ma'am, for enlightening us about the various initiatives taken by WMED under your able leadership. Now, as ma'am has already given a brief about CA Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Singhal sir, our panel moderator for the day, I would like to add on a few more details about him, how highly accomplished professional he is. He is a highly meritorious professional, I should say, because he has received more than 100 merit certificates for academics. He is a topper in the SRCC Delhi University. He is a FCA with more than 20 years of experience, and he is also a PhD in International Finance from Faculty of Management Studies, Delhi. He has published more than 12 books by leading publishers including Bharat Law House, LexisNexis, Bloomsbury, etc. And apart from these, he has contributed to our profession by being a government nominee at NACAS and contributed towards resolving industry and professional interest issues. He's a special invitee of the Caro group set up by MCA. He has represented India at the World Accounting Forum Dubai and World Standard Setters Meet London. He has contributed as a convener of more than 16 study groups of ICI and has also brought out 12 standards for local bodies. At present, he is the chairman of the Sustainable Accounting Standards Board and vice chairman of Accounting Standards Board ICI, and partner at SR Bartley Boy and Company LLP. Previously, he has an industry experience by serving as Vice President Finance at Cyber Media, Executive Vice President Finance at Religare, Vice President at Jubilant Life Sciences, etc. He has contributed to the society at large by being a volunteer at Can Support for Cancer Affected People and trustee at hospitals and blind ashram in Delhi. So he is a professional who is working towards academics as well as profession as a large by being a partner at a very reputed CA firm and being contributing to the society by being a volunteer at such organizations, and he's going to be the panel moderator for the day. So I would like to hand over the program to Sanjeev Singhal sir for continuing the program by taking the first panel. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Richa, for your very humble and very kind words. I'm thankful to CA Kamisha Soniji, Chairperson of the Women Member Empowerment Directorate, and Satish Gupta ji, Central Council Member and Deputy Convener of this Directorate, for giving me this opportunity to be the panel moderator. Friends, in this first panel, we have my council colleague Satish Gupta ji, who is also the chairperson of the committee for members in practice, and we'll be interacting with him on the various initiatives. He hails from Jaipur and is a very dynamic personality, always working for the cause of the members. And then, this panel, these two panels are unique. The first panel comprises CA Pooja Jain and CA Ruchi Maheshwari from industry, and the second panel will have CA Sonu Iyer and CA Manju Agarwal, who are from practice. So we have tried to arrive at a fine balance. About Pooja ji is a chartered accountant with 18 years of experience, currently associated with Indus Tower, which is formerly known as Bharti Infratel, as the head of shared services. Ex-CFO Bharti Infratel, which is a listed company, and she has been the first female CFO of that company. Really proud of you, Pooja ji. She has widespread experience in financial reporting and consolidation from R to R, that is record to report, in shared services, enterprise risk management, internal controls, and internal audit. She has directed comprehensive financial and accounting function for entire company, from setting strategy and initiatives to quality assurance, financial analysis, and reporting. She has acted as lead member of the internal complaints committee formed in accordance with POSH, and participated in executive program on creating high performance organizations at IIM Bangalore. And during her term, Bharti Infratel has won Golden Peacock Award for Risk Management in 2017 and CNBC TV 18 Award for Risk Governance in 2021. So, who says that, women are not the achievers? We are really, really proud of you, Pooja ji. And then the co-panelist is Ruchi Maheshwari. Ruchi is a chartered accountant of my batch, which is 1997 batch. And she has extensive corporate experience in the domain of banking and financial sector. She started her career in campus placement at the UTI, the Unit Trust of India, before American Express, where she spent 10 years and grew to the senior leadership level. Her last role was with Royal Bank of Scotland as Vice President, Risk and Compliance. And she has acquired a number of process certifications like Six Sigma, IFRS, PCOB, etc. during her career. She is a special flair to explore a new technology, and she's been a speaker in many of ICI programs on blockchain. She has also worked in implementation of robotics within her organization. She strongly believes that learning is a continuous process which evolves us, so we need to keep learning and sharing. So we really welcome you, Ruchi, on this panel. And of course, Satish Bhai is an honorable council colleague and has said, handling the Center of Excellence and leading the initiative for under the committee for members in practice. So we have about now 40 to 45 minutes of time, and I'll be structuring my questions accordingly before moving on to the panel 2. Talking to Pooja ji first. Pooja, you have a very, very inspiring journey. So Can you please tell our members, right now more than 2,000 members have joined, and I can assume that mostly it will be the women members who join. Uh, about your journey and, the challenges that you faced and how you overcome those. Over to you, Pooja ji.
Thank you, Sanjeev ji. First of all, I would like to thank convener Madam Kamisha ji and Deputy Convener Sir Satish Gupta ji. And also very sincere thanks to Shri Sanjeev Singhal ji for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts today with all our young women chartered accountants out there. Thank you so much. So coming to my journey and the challenges that I faced. So I would say that I too had my share of failures. My journey has never been that rosy. But somehow I would say that I have always been very positive. I always managed to stay positive. I too have my fears, my negative thoughts do come to mind, but it is only momentary. I know I'll overcome all of that. I remain positive. That I think is the strength by which I have overcome all of these fears. So if I have to share my, let's say, how I overcome my challenges, if I have to share my journey, I started my career with Bharti Airtel in 2002 when I qualified during that year. That was my first employer. I started with Delhi Circle, which was a cream circle at that point in time. Telecom was taking pace. And then for almost 3 years, I was with Bharti Airtel. Then I moved to a real estate company called MRMGF. Now it's MR. I think in 2009, early 2009, I moved back to Bharti Infratel. Here the company had just set up Bharti Infratel at that point in time. And since then, I have always been associated with that company. I started my journey in Infratel as a senior manager and taking care of the financial reporting and consolidation vertical. I think every year I was given a different project. I have handled too many projects every year, a new projects, be it merger, demerger, be it Infratel IPO in 2012, IFRS implementation, then moving to internal controls in 2014. That I think was a very beautiful change in my life, in my career as such. In internal controls, when I moved to that vertical, I actually got experience of operations, of business. So till that time, till 2014, I was taking care of only the finance piece. When I moved to internal controls, I realized what more there is to learn. That gave a whole new horizon, a whole new experience, exposure. For 2 years, I was in internal controls reporting to the CEO of the company, and that gave me a different dimension. I started looking into the enterprise risk management. Since then, I was handling that profile. In 2016, I moved back to the finance vertical with the shared services. After some time, I was giving additional responsibility of record to report. And last year, I was appointed as the CFO of the company. If I talk about my challenges, I'll share with you one of my latest experiences. So this is to all my women fellow CAs who are kind of experiencing challenges in their life as well. So there are limitations. I think everybody has some weaknesses, etc. Imagine a CFO being told to work on your speech. I speak too fast. My people, my team, my co-workers all know me. They understand me and I feel comfortable when I talk to them. But as a CFO, when you are supposed to speak in front of the shareholders of the company, the investors, the board of directors, you need to ensure you speak in a manner that they can follow you. They can follow what you say. When my boss, MD and CEO of the company gave me this feedback, he said to me, we all know you, Pooja, and we can understand what you say, but there'll be foreign investors in the boardroom who probably may not be able to follow you. Trust me, I took that feedback very positively. It was a very welcome feedback, and I'm not ashamed to share with all of you. I really had to work on it. I realized as I grow, it is critical to improve upon my speech. I started practicing. I remember for the first quarter end, I rehearsed again and again, focusing on my speech, did recording over Zoom, watched myself speak to find out where correction or more work is required. To me, preparing yourself is very important. Do your homework, be prepared, have confidence in you. I think these are the things how I have overcome my challenges. Have confidence that you can do it. Nothing is impossible. On the night before the board meeting, I slept at 10 and I was completely at peace with absolutely no fear in my mind. Trust me, I was very successful in whatever I did that day. I believe hard work always pays off. Accepting your faults, your mistakes is really important, and there is no harm in doing that. Nobody is perfect. At the end of the day, your peace is what is important, your peace of mind. If you ignore it, it will keep haunting you. Better it is you accept and work on it, and you will emerge as a winner. So I think this is how I have faced my
This is
challenges.
great.
So over
This
to
is
you,
great.
Sanjeev ji.
Yeah, yeah. This is great, Pooja ji. And also accepting a feedback, taking a constructive feedback is very important, because sometimes we feel that how can anyone point out fingers to us. So accepting a feedback and working on the improvement areas is very, very important. Great. Ruchi, moving on to you. You've also been very, very successful in industry. What is, apart from your brief success story, what is that one piece of advice or guidance you would like to share with our women members for growth in the professional field? Because normally we find that sometimes they tend to take a back seat. So how your journey has been different, and since your husband is also a chartered accountant, whether there were different challenges or whether the challenges were less, and then how you overcome those. Over to you, Ruchi.
Thanks, Sanjeev sir. I think that's a great question. Before I start and answer my question, I would like to thank all the members of the women committee. It's really a pleasure to always be here at this podium and support our own women colleagues as we go, because I think this is something which definitely inspires the young women members, and not necessarily women members. These kind of advices definitely help everybody who are in the corporate segment. If you get these kind of advices, I definitely hope sometimes that if we got such advices, maybe our journey would also have been a bit smoother. But at least let's contribute for the people who are coming forward. Coming back to your question, sir. So, yes, I think, see, challenges are always there. I think even our educational journey is always challenging, right? And CA, as the course itself says, is not it's not an easy course. When we are happy to succeed on our course, then why not the professional journey? What I believe in, and I definitely resonate with what Pooja said, that one is, you have to believe in yourself. That is the biggest thing. And you need to, what my personal belief is, that you need to have a clear picture of what you're looking from your career. As women especially, we have multiple aspects to go through. As you said, a family to manage, and especially with a equally with my husband also being a chartered accountant, a CFO. We both had challenging times in our stuff, but it's the balancing that we did has always helped me. So I advise even my young members, women members, or even male members, that you need to plan yourself well. You need to have a vision for yourself, what you are looking at. There were times in my career where I had to take a little bit of backseat when my daughter was growing, as compared to so I would kind of balance my days. There would be some days I would know that these are my days, like say the month ends or the quarter ends, where normally CAs would have a challenging time. I would plan that out and I would manage it. And I think I've always had the blessing of my the family support that I've always got. So that family support helped me balance. And I also kind of gave them a heads up saying that these are my critical times, which I will not be able to kind of go back and manage. So these days, please, you manage, and the other days is where I will manage. So playing that role well and planning things in advance definitely is a key factor in anybody's success. So I think that's how I have been able to grow myself from, I joined a company as a management trainee, and I quit as a vice president. So, that journey has really been a great journey, and it's only planning and organizing and believing in yourself that are the key things that I would say people should always keep in mind?
Great, Ruchi. The mutual cooperation is, really required. I would request you that, once the panelists have spoken, if you can keep yourself on mute. Moving on to my council colleague, Satish Gupta ji. Satish bhai, I know that you have been doing a great work for the members in practice, but members in general. So would you like to share some of the initiatives from where our women members can benefit? Satish bhai, you're on mute. Kindly unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you, Sanjay bhai.
Yeah.
And thanks to Kamisa Ben for giving me opportunity again today as a part of this panel. Friends, first of all, I would like to tell that Sanjeev bhai is a really a simple and super person. He is always a motivator, a guide and philosopher in the council. And the matchable, he is always positive. Happy today, member of a panel where Sanjeev bhai is asking the questions. Really super. Sanjeev bhai, to your question, I would like to tell simply that there is no difference in the male or female members as far as the initiatives of the committees are concerned. Any one of the female member can take use of those initiatives which we have taken this year. I am happy to say that we have taken this year more than 80 initiatives for the benefit of our members, not only in the field of members in practice, even the members in job can also take the benefits of some of the initiatives there. And few initiatives which has been taken recently, I would like to just mention that on 3rd of February, we got signed the very big MOU with the State Bank of India, where the State Bank of India has provided all the members in practice two types of loans on very attractive rates. One is the overdraft, that is on 9.15% reducing annually, and one is the term loan, that is on 8.65% annually reducing. So these two products are very beneficial for the members in practice who are in need of money, or they can go for the takeovers also if they have taken the loans which are carrying higher rate of interest. So I think this is the latest achievement of the committee for members in practice. And prior to this, Sanjeev sir, we got for two very unique things. One, that we are going to provide our members, all members, laptops of HP and Lenovo. There are 4 versions, and the price tag for these laptops, I know that these are for the use of the article students of our members, but these 4 versions are very good versions, and not at the, I can say these are not technologically top in the market, but are very good. And the price tag is in between rupees 18,000 to 21,000. And if we compare these prices from the same product available in the market, rather the Amazon prices, then there is a benefit of rupees 5,000 to 11,000 to our members. So I think these two things are very unique things. And one more thing, sir, which Sanjeev bhai, you were also demanding, and several times you have suggested that we should go for this, that we have made an arrangement with the ICICI Prudential Life Insurance for a life term insurance, where they are allowing our members life term insurance of up to rupees 1.5 crore. So, and rates are very competitive, terms are also very good. So these three things which have recently been arranged, I have just narrated for the benefits of the members who are listening me today, or who are the lucky participants of this panel discussion, because we have Ruchi Maheshwari here, we have Pooja Jain, and Pooja, you have just proved that your name is not simply Pooja, because the history of your life you have just told is really, I can say, remarkable, and we all should follow. And that hard work you have talked about, yeah, I personally feel that there is no alternate to hard work. And Ruchi, we have met add to this also, and I have found that she is wonderful speaker, and she is the I can say she possesses very good knowledge also. So it's really a I am lucky that I am part of this wonderful panel with a moderator like Sanjeev Bhai. So I think I have answered my first question, sir. Thank you, Sanjeev Bhai. Thanks a lot.
Sir, please unmute yourself.
Sorry.
sir.
I think on the virtual mode, we should first ask that, am I audible? Am I visible? So these are the two words. So Satish bhai, your humbleness is known to all of us. Thanks for taking such initiatives. Pooja, moving on to you, we don't see many women in basically in the boardroom these days still. Although there is one women director mandatory for the listed company, but there is no limitation of one director, and similarly at the CEO position also. Normally, do you see it's because of gender discrimination, or is it the inherent hesitation to accept challenging work profile, or is it something else? And what will be your advice to our women members? How can they overcome? Over to you, Pooja.
Thank you, sir. So I understand, but I don't think that is any more true now. It has been a male-dominated, I understand, field for some time, but now women are coming up definitely. So entry-level workforce, I understand, is more for women. Probably it may take some time to move up the ladder. I have my example in front of me. If I talk about leadership role, when I was given this opportunity, I had one of my colleagues, male colleagues, who was more experienced in terms of the number of years of experience. Still, I was appointed, I was chosen. So I think individuals with the right attributes deserves a leader role. If we talk about the board of directors, to my mind, yes, it has to be a little more inclusive. For now, it is less inclusive, although I feel there has been a regulatory push to make it mandatory for companies to have at least one independent women director on boards. And there are definitely a lot of advantages. So there are diverse, if we have a diverse group, it is proven that we'll arrive at a better decision. Board is at times tasked with making tough calls. So diverse group will be able to put more options on the table. While most of the top 1,000 listed companies have complied with the directives of SEBI, boards still have a long way to go before they become more inclusive. But having said that, I think women are taking up leadership roles now, and in times to come, as I said, from entry level, they are climbing the ladder, right? So in times to come, definitely we'll see more strength, more women power at board level as well.
Great, and as was mentioned in the opening remarks by Kamisha ji, now 41% of our students are female students. So I think that's bound to happen. In any case, we have 27% women members. So great, Ruchi, how do you see the gig economy growing, and how could women benefit from it? What's your perspective on it?
So gig economy, I think, as we all know, gig economy is an economy which supports flexi working, which is more project based as compared to being a more, a regular working kind of stuff. So, and as we are talking today on this initiative, where we are looking for such opportunities for women, wherein women can actually be doing their jobs and also managing work in life as they want. So gig economy definitely is here to stay and grow is what I would say. And definitely women will benefit because they will have options to kind of take on work as per their requirement. They can take projects remotely, and especially I think COVID has done a great positive aspect for all of us. It has increased working from home options nowadays. There are organizations that are offering such things. There are women who can actually do a lot of project based works. If they don't want to get into a regular job, they can take project based work. So definitely it's a long and a forward looking economy, as I would say. And I'm sure in today's ET also people would have read that the labor ministry is also working on, formalizing how women can get work from home opportunities in smaller towns. So that's additional benefits this gig economy is going to promote and help women.
Yeah, this is a great idea, flexi working, part time job. In fact, recently we have posted about 500 vacancies on the women portal of ICI, and certainly those who are listening, they can certainly take advantage from it. Satish bhai, if I have to talk to you to have your views, like what Ruchi said, flexi working, part time working, do you think in members in practice, particularly for women, we can create opportunities where we are able to utilize our women force for part-time engagements, particularly for peak times for the members in practice, like when the tax audit date comes, when the tax filing is there, or the ROC filings are there? Do you think there's a way that we can enable it and that will allow them to do flexi working for part of the year? Over to you, Satish bhai. You are on mute. Kindly unmute.
Sanjeev bhai, I really welcome this idea. This is a very good idea. I think, and I have seen several corporates in Jaipur also, where they are giving flexi timings to the women chartered accountants, and even not only flexi timings of 12 to 5, but even they are sending their transport facilities to their home, and they pick up the women chartered accountants, and thereafter, after completion of work, they leave them their home also. So it's a good idea in the practice segment also, not only at peak hours. What I personally believe that women chartered accountants, I also personally believe that there should be no difference in between two these segment, men and women, because time has gone where you see the achievements of Pooja and Ruchi, and yesterday I met two of the very learned women. So in this panel, so I know that there is no difference between men and women. Both are at par in the competency or the qualification or the capacities or the intelligence. There is no difference at all. But but still, at the some time when it is needed, we should give opportunity to our women chartered accountants who are not coming for the profession ahead. What is happening, Sanjeev bhai? Some of the women chartered accountants after qualification are sitting at home because they are not getting the atmosphere at their home, at their groom house, to the in-laws house, because they are not getting that much of the positive atmosphere and advantage from there. So in that case, if we make up this program and we allow some flexi hour working for the women chartered accountants, I can say and see that it may make a big difference in the professional life. And the problems being faced by our chartered accountant, we are seeking for the extension of time, deadlines at every time. I think we can cope up in that particular problem also, because we will get new hands, and with the and they can give better solutions to the offices. So I personally welcome this idea, and I'm in support of this, and you have given this idea, and I would like to work on this idea in the next year, definitely, sir. Thank you, Sanjeev bhai.
No, thank you. I know you would like to pick up the idea just like you've done for the term insurance, which I've been speaking to you again and again. And I can tell you, in our organization also, we enable, particularly in our back office, 50% working from home and 50% working from office. That's great. So Pooja, there are many reports which have predicted that companies with more women board members generally outperform the competition and show the increased shareholder value. So there is an intangible, associated with it. Do you agree with it? And if yes, then what are the additional intrinsic qualities which the women bring on the table, due to which it happens? Over to you, Pooja. Please unmute yourself and speak.
Thank you, sir. So as I said, if we have more women's strength on the board of directors, I think with diverse groups, it is proven that we have better decisions, better results. Board is given task many times to take tough calls, and so diverse group will help put more options on the table. A gender diverse board can bring a broad spectrum of thoughts, perspective, and ideas to the boardroom table that might not be considered otherwise. Intrinsic values, if I talk about, so women have more soft skills. I truly believe women can exceed in whatever area they are in. And I think women are great leaders because of their intrinsic qualities, like they value relationships, they are nurturing, they are great listeners, they have high emotional intelligence, they are empathetic, they make tasks look effortless, they can wear many hats and lead by example. I think board, if there are more women directors on board, we'll have too many different perspectives and willingness to accept change as well, new perspectives. Over to you, Sanjeev ji.
Great, Pooja ji. Moving on to you, Ruchi. You've been specializing in blockchains and in the technology area. Which technical domain you think it's easier to start in industry or practice, particularly for the women chartered accountants? Over to you, Ruchi.
Thanks. As I think I am a big passionate person about our course. The CA the CA course. I value it a lot, and I feel that the course actually gives us all the necessary things that we need, whether it's tax, direct, indirect, whether it is accounting, hardcore. That's what we are known for, or whether it is all the strategic risk and stuff, which is now included in our curriculum. So definitely a young chartered accountant that comes out with all the skill sets, right? And if somebody has to start his professional career, especially if I have to talk about a corporate career, I would say that each and every field in the start is good to, get into, because that gives you a flavor. And I think as you grow within the organization, or as you grow with years, you understand what's your passion, or where is it that your heart lies. Say, for example, even Pooja mentioned, or even I have actually done, project financing, I've done hardcore accounting, I've actually, done risk and control, I've done controllership roles. And now where I've actually developed my interest into emerging technologies. So that's where I felt that I was, I could find my way, because I understood where my heart was. And because I could see the whole gamut of stuff which is there in the corporate, because while you're studying, you don't know what's on the other side. As an auditor, you look at things, but when you're actually doing it as a professional person, the view is totally different. Really, even seeing, making accounts, or getting ERP reports, it's very different to what you've done as as an auditor. So my perspective would, or my advice to young chartered accountants is always that, start with anything. Don't be choosy when you're starting. As you get into it, develop your interests and see where you can excel, and pick up those things to take forward, and then get deep into it, dirty your hands, and then excel with all the efforts that you've put into it. That's how I take it, sir. So I think it's not one thing, but it's actually knowing everything around yourself.
Yeah, that's great answer, Ruchi. Moving on to you, Pooja. What are some of the ways through which organizations can encourage women to elect themselves for the leadership roles? Any thoughts on this?
Sure, Sanjeev ji, thank you for the question. So I think today organizations are encouraging women to take up higher senior leadership roles. There are in fact changes in the policy. If I may talk about, companies are more and more having policies around at least one women person on the leadership position. If we talk about top management, they promote at least having one woman person in a leadership role. If we look at each of the functions, again as a DR to the function head, again there is a policy or they promote that at least we have one women candidate there. So I think the gender equality, or if we talk about that, a better representation of women in leadership roles also improve gender equality, because if there are more women candidates at leadership roles, they'll also promote, or more women will be hired across the company. Plus, if they are in leadership role, they can also expect equal pay as men. So there is more of an open-minded atmosphere today, I feel, employers are more open to suggestions, feedback, how they can support and improve the working conditions, all of that stuff. So I think for leadership, definitely it is the change in the policies that the companies are kind of now moving towards. Over to you,
Great.
Sanjeev ji.
Yeah, sure. Ruchi, one of our member has asked a question that she's looking to grow as a senior leader in an organization, but fear as to how she'll able to juggle between family and professional career. And she's also of the view that there are people in the organization who feels that when the challenges comes or when the tight timeline come, which I think in the financial reporting domain they are always there, that she'll not be able to manage. What are your thoughts and what's your experience on this? And any advice that you'd like to give? Thank you.
Thanks, Sanjeev. I think this is a really great question, and I think every woman who has been in corporate career will have, and not only corporate career, I'm sure practicing side also has the same challenges that and everybody goes through it. It is just your mindset that you need to have in the right manner. In the sense, I can remember days, I had my Karwa Chauth fast on a day, and that was the month end day. I actually came home at 11 and I broke my fast at that point in time. But that's fine. I knew that I have to balance between things and I had to do that. So it's more about, I feel that women should not get scared of things. Women have great potentials. As Pooja said, we juggle a lot of things. We do a lot of multitasking. We all, I feel that our brains actually work too much. Half of our brain is tuned to think about profession and half of our brain is already tuned to think about family. So we already think forward and we know that, okay, if I have two more tasks to do, I will either delegate or I will do it. So that planning, structuring is very important, and believing in yourself, as I've said. The biggest challenge that I feel, and I think as the question sounds, is women start getting scared in the first instance. They actually make that as a bigger challenge for themselves. It's that you have to say, no, I can accomplish it. Why not? If the man can do it, why not the women can do it? And in today's world, as I have personally experienced about the balancing, your people around you want you to be successful. They will definitely offer a hand of support if you ask them. If you just remain within your own circle and say, oh, everything is on me, then you will never get that support. You will have to learn to delegate at times. You will learn to lead at times. And definitely you will be successful. So nobody should stop themselves just because of the fact of the fear. Fear will always be there. Even at home, you have multiple tasks to do, but you manage it, right? You have all of a sudden maybe 50 people coming to your home and have, you'll prepare and make that party ready. So why not do it at your professional career? And your people around you will definitely, nobody wants you to fail, right? I'm sure your partner doesn't want his wife to fail, or their parents don't want their child to fail. So everywhere you will get that support, and even being a mother, I'm sure, if you tune your children, they will be there to support you. I have a teenage daughter and she's always supported me. She's my biggest support, I would say. I just have to at times tell her, this is my work. I hope you're going to take care. And she's like, don't worry, I will manage it for you. So that is where that belief and that comfort has to come from yourself. And you need to, have your environment adjusted accordingly. So I would advise that person that please go ahead, don't get scared. You will find your way, and it will be a successful way.
No, this is great. I mean, support from the children is really good. And taking a cue from
Sanjeevji,
what you
sorry.
said.
Sanjeevji, sorry. I just like to mention one small
Yeah.
incident. While I was at American Express and I was reporting into a leader who was based in the US, so I would have a lot of calls at late night, which would be around 10, 8:30, 9:30 at times, and that would be like the time for dinner at home. And my daughter was very small at that point in time, and she would not know the concept that kamra kyun band hai, mummy kyun andar hai, that types of stuff. And then I had to tell her that if you want mummy's time, then you have to keep quiet. Or if you're sitting next to me, you don't have to talk. So she had actually learned the skill to write and give me messages. So she would not speak or utter a word, but she would give me messages in writing. So, that's what I'm saying. The environment has to be tuned in the way that you want it. So there's always a give and take, is what I say.
That's really nice. And taking a cue from what you said, delegation. Actually, that's a great thing. And this is what I also experience as we grow in career. If we don't delegate at office, delegate at home, engage more help for you. So contribute to the employment also. So Pooja, what's been your experience around the delegation? Has it helped you grow more?
Definitely, sir. Definitely. I think it is important as a leader. You talk about delegation when you are a team leader, you're a manager, right? And I think when you delegate, you also grow, and your team members in turn also grow. You will grow only when your next or somebody down the line is ready to fill in your shoes, right? Only then you can move up the ladder, you can take up next higher responsibility. So I think that is definitely delegation is very important.
Great. Moving on to my council colleague, Satish Bhai, you've been listening to this dialogue, and what is your advice for success mantra or philosophy for our women members, whether in practice or in industry, based on your experience, the way you have grown in Jaipur and being to the central council, and the way you have performed? Of course, because everyone can build on everyone's experience. So, what will be your one or two advice to our women chartered accountant who are watching this webcast?
Thank you, Sanjeev bhai. Very difficult question asked, asked by you, but I would like to give the answer. But at the very outset, Sanjeev bhai, I don't make any difference in between men and women. I have earlier told also. Second thing, as suggested by Pooja and Ruchi both, that the most important thing which is needed for the success of any, whether women or men, is the hard work. There is no alternate to the hard work. And I think the success mantras, if we talk about, so I generally take and use three things. Yeah, rather we can say four things. That first, we should focus on our goal. So at the very outset, we should determine, we should know that where we want to go. So goal should be certain, whether it is short term, long term, medium term, whatever that is, but we should fix our goal first. Thereafter, we should focus on that, our goal. How can we focus? And the third thing, which relates to hard work, confidence, consistency, competence, all things, but that is summarized in only one word, ki regularity. You will have to do whatever you are doing on regular basis. And the fourth one and the last one is that daily improvement should be there. So if we summarize all these four things, so I think we should know where we want to go. Second thing, we should not forget that thing, where we want to go. We should write down that particular goal and on the walls of our room, on the walls of our office, and that should be in our eyesight always. So it will become the part of the mind thereafter. After sometimes you will see that there will be no need to affix that particular goal on your walls, because that will be inbuilt in your mind, and I can say even your heart will remember that particular goal also. So that is the must focusing. Thereafter, regularity, you should work daily on your goal to achieve that, and thereafter daily improvement. Daily improvement may be 0.00001%, but it should be improvement. Then you will find that you have achieved whatever you want to achieve. I think if we are regular on working, we will get success.
That's a great answer, Satish Bhai. Intentionally asked a tough question from a tough person. I know that you are hardworking and likes dealing with difficulties. So thanks, Pooja. Probably we have time only for one more question. So Sheetal from Mumbai has asked a question: does chances of leadership position in organization diminish if there are multiple breaks due to personal challenges, and how to handle such challenges?
So I wouldn't say it is necessary that if there are breaks, because of that you will, but definitely years of experience, etc., do count But as I said, if you have the right attributes, the right experience and all, I don't think, and I think the attitude itself also is very important. To my mind, there is no reason why you cannot get that position. So avoid taking too many breaks. As far as I think, even if you are you have a family and all, nowadays you get 6 months maternity leave, right? And there the company is also in a mandatory. There is a requirement that they have to take you back or at the same position. They can't. There cannot be any disadvantage to that person, right? To that lady. So don't avoid taking too many breaks in between. You can still kind of continue with the same in the same duration, in the same way. Avoid taking too many breaks. But even if there are any, don't get. I don't think there is anything to get demotivated. That you will not be again given a good position in the company.
Thanks, Poojaji, for handling that question. Ruchi, I have time for one last question. So, Bhavini from Kolkata has asked this question. Please suggest ways to work from home for women CA like me having small kids. Can you think of some areas where they can work from home?
So I think nowadays there are many portals that actually are looking for independent consultants or freelance consultants as CAs in the fields of accounting, back office functions, and supports like this. And I'm sure as the institute mentioned, there are many opportunities on the institute website also. Even the institute offers women to kind of take on tasks like checking papers and the other stuff. I'm sure she can look at those options also on our own institute website. And there are many things that can be done. And I'm sure as you've raised this point of having additional CAs supporting the practicing chartered accountants, I'm sure that will be another avenue that may come up.
Absolutely. And I can also tell you that the ICI also engages the financial reporting reviewers, the technical reviewers, the tax audit reviewers, plus the faculty. There are so many certificate courses, and with the virtual mode now, obviously that's possible. So actually, this was a very, very nice interacting with all three of you. We have a limitation of time. There were a large number of other questions as well. But we have to move to the next panel. But thank you so much, Satish Bhai. Thank you so much, Pooja ji. Thank you so much, Ruchi. And while we would welcome you if you want to stay tuned. But we'll have to move to the next panel. Thank you so much. We are really grateful and really looking forward to have all of you in some other panel some other day.
I think it's our
Thank you,
pleasure
sir.
to be here.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Sanjay Bhai. Thanks, Pooja ji.
Absolutely.
All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. And Satish Bhai, will you be there for the concluding remarks?
Yeah, I will be there for concluding the part, but before that, for 15 minutes, I will not be here.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So if you can join me around 4:20 also, that's fine.
Yeah, I will join you, sir. Definitely.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
So friends, now we move on to our next panel with Sonu Iyer and Manju Agrawal ji.
Hi, Sanjay.
Hi.
Hi, Sanjay ji.
Hi, Manju ji. Manju ji, can you change your screen name? Right now it's appearing as Komal.
I'm actually using Komal's laptop.
I know.
So there was some problem in my laptop.
Okay, fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
So friends, this brings us to panel 2 with the theme of benefits of empowering women professionals and leveraging emerging business practices for their benefit, discussions on running an independent practice, and tips for leveraging emerging business practices. And we have two very of the eminent panelists, Sonu Iyer. Sonu is a partner and leader, India region, People Advisory Services, EY India. Sonu has been with EY for over 26 years. In her current role, she leads People Advisory Services for India region. People Advisory Services of EY is an integrated service offering covering all aspects of people. And today also we are talking of people only across the business value chain: performance, talent, systems, advisory, employment law, employment mobility, rewards, and HR analytics. Her personal passion is for diversity and inclusion, which I see day in and day out in the firm, and in particular, gender diversity at the workplace. She's focusing on EY's external initiatives, Women on Board, and Women Business Leaders Network around Women Fast Forward program to promote advancement of women in their career and particularly help women grow into leadership roles and on corporate boards. She specializes in tax and regulatory aspect for individuals encompassing tax, labor laws, social security, immigration, and employee rewards. And I know how hard it was for her to join because union budget has just been out, and taking a time on 5th of that month. That's been so Sonu, I'm so thankful to you for taking out time and be willing to share your perspective with our members.
Sanjeev, thank you for having me over. And whatever be the business, as you know, gender diversity is a priority, and anything to do and help the cause of moving up on the value chain for gender diversity.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sonu. And then we have the co-panelists, Manju Agarwal ji. Manju ji is a 1984 batch chartered accountant, and she's a partner with Gyanendra and Associate from last 33 years, and I know her passion for IFRS. She has joined the IFRS course when I was the program director, and she has led the team nominated by ICI ARF for the pilot project of IFRS conversion in 2010. She has been the vice president of ISA CA USA chapter in New Delhi and also the general secretary. She has been a peer reviewer. She has been member on various committees of ICI, Committee on Accounting Standard for local bodies of NIRC, PDC committee for members in industry of NIRC, member of the review group of Financial Reporting Review Board. She's also been a co-opted member on the Committee on Corporate Governance of the NIRC, and she has been enrolled on the panel of Department of Public Enterprises for appointment as professional director. So thanks a lot, Manjuji, for taking out time and being with us. I know that this is really tough times for those who are in practice because we are busy with sharing knowledge on the union budget. Thank you so much for being with us. I will be asking some questions that we will keep on receiving from our members. Starting with you, Sonu, can you share your perspective on the? When you said on the diversity, that how is it practiced in your division, in your work area, and in your firm? So how deep it is, and what do you think that more can be done by organizations to promote gender diversity? We have 27% women chartered accountant, and out of the new students who enroll, there are 41% female chartered accountants. So how is it practiced in the firm, and what more can be done by the organizations in this area? Over to you, Sonu.
Thanks, Ajib. So it's a question. I think I'm very proud to say that over the last decade at EY, we've made a lot of progress in terms of promoting gender diversity. So not only in terms of making sure that what used to happen a few years ago, that women at the manager level would typically kind of go off the workforce because they were getting married at that age and there was pressure at home, etc. We've been able to not only ensure that more and more women continue to be part of the organization and stay, but I think what we've done very well over the last 10 years is have many women in leadership roles. So it's from top to bottom, whether it's our executive committee. As you know, I'm also part of the firm's executive committee. So right at the top, people reporting into the country managing partner, the regional managing partner, and at every level, every service line, we've done fantastically well in ensuring women get senior leadership roles at that. So that has changed the tone at the top. You've got women leading multiple service lines. And if I have to talk closer home, I have had the pleasure of working with bosses who are very, very consciously brand ambassadors for gender diversity. They were male partners with great sponsors for women, which I believe is a critical need. For women to grow in their roles, you need to have good mentors and sponsors. So we've had that. And my team, traditionally, we've been very well balanced on diversity. So it's both well balanced from a adequate representation of men in my team, while at one point of time it tended to be a heavy women's team, but I'm glad that it's now balanced out. So I think, from our perspective, what we did was to start measuring metrics around, how many women are being hired, how many women are staying on in the system, what are we doing to enable women to stay on, whether it was policies around flexible working arrangements, allowing them to work from anywhere. That has been there the case for many, many years. So I think that and many other measures which could be measured have ensured that we were able to have more and more women in the organization.
That's really great, Sonu. I think if all organizations start thinking like that, certainly, ultimately it is the profession and industry which will gain because we will be able to better utilize the talent that we have. Manjuji, moving on to you, since you're in practice from last 33 years, according to you, which is a better career option for the women members, practice or being in an employment? You're on mute. Kindly unmute yourself.
So what I would say that whichever field the women professionals choose, they will definitely excel. And whether in practice or in service, both have their advantages and disadvantages, right? So before I go further, I will just share my journey, because through my journey, maybe the members will understand what challenges I faced at different stages in my life. So after qualifying, I joined a public sector undertaking, and I was working there for about 5 years. And initially, it was very nice, and I enjoyed because I made friends at work and had different perspectives. But when I got married, had children, within 5 years, I realized that the work was becoming monotonous, because being in an organization in service sector, it is not very easy to move between verticals. So once you are working in one particular vertical, then the work becomes very monotonous. That was one challenge. The second was that the timings, of course, 9 to 5:30, it was becoming very difficult for me to manage my two small children and family, of course, and my job. So that was another challenge I faced. And the third was that there was no growth or development. So because of these three things, and then my husband was luckily at practice, he was already in practice for 5 years, and I thought I had better prospects, so I joined practice. So the challenges I faced in job was, it was monotonous, difficult to balance life, personal and professional life, and a very young family at that point of time. And I wanted to have a different perspective. So this could be the disadvantages of being in a job or a corporate sector. Having joined practice, I liked the idea because that gave me the freedom of flexible timings. I could manage my family and personal needs in a more efficient way, and I had a whole, professional front before me. I could choose. So initially, 2-3 years, I just supported my husband, and then I realized that I needed to have had a vertical of my own. So I started with, first of all, I think I did DISA 2003, and I thought that I'll make a career in information system audit, because that was a new line coming up at that point of time. But then after 2-3 years, I realized that if I have to make a career in information system audit, then I need not only myself, but I need to have a very capable team with the same background, which was very difficult to find. So after 2-3 years, I again switched over, and then this Ind AS or the IFRS was coming. As Sanjeev ji, you just mentioned, I enrolled in the first batch of IFRS way back in, I think, 2009, and I was then appointed to lead the ARF pilot project for Ind AS conversion in 2010. And we did the first Ind AS conversion, or at that point of time, Ind AS was not there, the IFRS conversion for NHPC. So that opened a big avenue for me. And after that, I did a lot of Ind AS implementations after it was introduced in 2016. And so that gave me the flexibility of changing the different verticals or the fields in the profession according to my choice. And having worked on India's front and the corporate, the audit practice, then I realized now it was time to again move on. And then I took the financial consultancy. And presently, I am heading the financial consultancy vertical and concentrating on the PPP sector. So what I'm trying to say, based on my experience, that practice gives you the flexibility of changing your different verticals or the sectors that experience you and heading it. So that is the flexibility, and you are the boss of your team. But at the same time, there are challenges when you are in practice. The time, that 9 to 5 time, it is a 20, it just gets converted into 24 hours. There's so many responsibilities, so 24 hours the work is on your mind, and I mean, you are never free, you have to deliver. So even if there is a very strong team under you, after all, it's your responsibility. So these are the disadvantages. So both have their advantages as well as disadvantages.
Absolutely, absolutely, Manjushri. No, I think that's very well articulated. Moving on to you for the next question, moving on to Sonu. Sonu, what are the professional areas where women are preferred for their intrinsic qualities? I'd like to throw some light on that.
The question has a bit of a gender bias because I believe women are good at everything and they can do anything.
Absolutely. Where they have more advantage, of course they are good at everything, but where they have certainly an edge.
Right. So, first let's look at what are the qualities, intrinsic qualities or qualities that we associate with women, and what I've seen in other women, and what, I think really helps. The fact that there is a natural empathy, the ability to understand and empathize with anyone. And, you could be in a meeting as a woman, there is an emotional quotient that is always active. So, looking after, you'll find typically in a meeting, at least I always do that. I feel that there is a speaker who's speaking and thoughtfully putting a glass of water there, or just concerned, then meals need to be served. So what I'm trying to say is women have certain inherent qualities, which is empathy, emotional quotient, multitasking. I think you can't believe, even the women who are on this webcast right now, I can bet upon it, the amount of multitasking that's going on. Keeping an eye on the children, are they doing what they're supposed to be doing? Are the maids doing what they're supposed to be doing? Is the team member working on the job? So I think we can squarely claim that we are master multitaskers. So we are very, very good at it, even when it means that you're finishing a meeting, getting ready for this next one. So your mind, one side of your mind is working on what questions Sanjeev can ask, and I'm thinking through that, and I'm also making a presentation. So I think that those are great qualities that women have. And we have an inherent capacity as women. And I'm not a feminist per se, but I've seen it in my mother, I've seen it in my mother-in-law, I see it all around me. And hats off to women with children, the kind of effort they put in. So it's just to stay on and be considered as an equal person in the workforce. Women work a few more extra hours, in fact, much more extra work hours than many others do. So if you look at it, a woman's day never ends. Whether you are even as a homemaker, and I'm come to the women CAs, but as a homemaker also, the first person to get up in the morning, the last person to sleep, she is the person who has to look after everyone. This is a natural role God has given, and most women rise to it. So the ability to work long hours. And when you're looking at success in professional life, I do believe that you need to bring both sides of the brain to work. You need to have that emotional capability. You need to have the intellectual capability. You need to have the drive to work hard. You need to be able to bear multiple pains and pay attention at multiple things and multitask. So I think women are generally good at it. And if you look at professions in general, it's typical, women make very good doctors, and then there are tendencies that things go. There are certain professions, whether it's human resources or medicine, these kind of get stereotyped that women can do better. Personally, I think what women have gone on to prove, whether you are flying a plane, and I think companies like Indigo did very well to hire a lot of women to fly planes. I see it in my organization, women who are leading businesses, they're doing phenomenally well. So it's not about, there is any typical male bastion that women can't do it. It's just that the recognition takes time. And I'm seeing this in organizations, in my clients also. I think over a period of time, when you consciously take steps to promote women, because women will typically not raise their hand and say, okay, I'm the best, because it doesn't come naturally to us. You always think that the man probably knows the better. I like to tell this story, and those of you who heard me speak earlier may also remember. When I became a partner in 2007 in the firm, I used to always think, now that I'm a partner, I'm amongst this huge group of men, I have to have something very intelligent to say before I can open my mouth. I would dare not speak casual things. I would never joke about things. Men can talk about whatever they want to. I was always very concerned that I have to have the most intelligent thing to say. I can't say stupid things, or I can't afford to make mistakes. But I'm glad that all of that is past me, and I've seen now younger women partners. I mean, everybody is more about being equal, having a point of view, and not being worried about speaking up. So I think we women just need to kind of get our mind to accept that we are equal, because it's not about men recognizing we are equal. It is us about giving ourselves a chance. We are constantly judging ourselves and putting ourselves down, and that's the reason we're not able to use all the good qualities that we have intrinsically to be able to be the best. So potentially, I believe that any business that recognizes the value and worth of the women talent that they have sitting, they can do tremendously well. So that's maybe a long answer to your question, but the
Great.
quality.
No, but I actually completely agree. With most of the statements that you make, I also observe, and you're absolutely right. So, no,
And Sanjeev, the
absolutely.
last part to this is, as I said, qualities are many, and the mindset is what is pulling us down. And also because traditionally, Manjuji talked about the fact that when she got married, the responsibilities of bringing up young children, and I also see it in my team, people who work with me. It's automatically the man of the family can work while the woman has to attend to the children, take on. So some roles are natural, and people, with due respect, women also want to do it. The problem I see with women is they want to be super women. They want to do everything best. So today you find that's why hats off to women who are managing multiple roles. So I just feel that if the
Hats off to you
society,
also. Hats off to you also. How well you are managing, I know that.
my point is, if the society, if the organization, the employer, if husbands, if the family, whatever, if all of that ecosystem decides to support women, I think women can go places, and there will be no place where we could say, oh, this is a male dominated thing and women can't come up, because we have it all. It's just about getting the opportunity, about getting the recognition, and managing our own mind. It's only our aspiration that sometimes, which I believe kind of does not let us come to of the destination that we should be headed towards.
Absolutely. I agree. And thanks, Sonu, for this answer. Manjuji, I have a question for you that because you are in practice for long and you are well supported by your husband, your son, and now your daughter-in-law, also all chartered accountants. So what measures you think ICI can take to support and encourage the independent women practitioners?
I think the measures to be taken is. Can you repeat your question, Sanjeevji?
On ICI part, what are the measures that ICI and we as Central Council members can take which can support and encourage women becoming independent practitioners?
What they can do is to maybe sensitize the community, or the business community, that women are equally important, because usually the problem that we face is that the men always have an edge over the women practitioners. So first of all, there should be a sensitization drive that people should believe that women are as competent as men, because what I have seen in practice is that female practitioner does not get the confidence from the client, because they feel that they will always have the family over the professional work, so they don't give so much importance. And then secondly, there is a very thin line between being assertive and not assertive, because if a lady is a woman practitioner is assertive, then she is taken to be not a ladylike behavior, and if she's not assertive, then it is taken as though she's not capable. So all these, these myths, I think I would say, need to be removed, and ICI can introduce certain trainings or workshops where the women Sonu Ayerji said that we need to really respect ourselves, value ourselves, So where they can tell the women chartered accountants that you are equally competent and have the confidence.
So this is great. And taking a cue from what you said on the trainings part, I'll ask this question to Sonu also, that if there are some programs which can be designed around that. So Sonu, if you can, a question that I want to ask, in addition to that, if you can answer on that, this aspect as well. What I want to ask you is that, COVID-19 has been very tough on everyone. So many of us have been affected, and there are challenges on the economy part also. So how can flexible work arrangement for the women CAs add value to the economy? I'd like your perspective, and also what Manjuji said, that if some training programs can be organized. See, ICI has mastered the art of training programs. We have done more than 3,000 webinars during this COVID time. So we can certainly do that. So if you can also advise on this. So two questions in one question. That how can flexible work arrangement for women CA add value to the economy, and what kind of training program you think that ICI should organize? Thanks.
Thanks, Ajay. So I think, I think what is ironical here is the fact that flexible work arrangements were always sort of frowned upon earlier. If a request came on, people would generally think, oh, now flexible work arrangement means that this person is not going to be available. One of the best things, or the only good thing that has come from this horrible COVID pandemic, is that everybody has realized that work can be done effectively, business targets can be met, production can continue if women have to work from home. Of course, I'm not, if in the services sector, definitely, and that's why you've had these massive announcements from all the large IT companies that they are going to be, making people work from home permanently. So, if I look at it, I think that positive acceptance that flexible work arrangements can deliver and they effectively deliver is the best thing that can happen to women. Earlier, when a woman would go on flexible work arrangement, there was always this thing, oh, is she working as many hours? The person sitting in the office who's logging in, or he or she's logging in 14 hours at office, is working more. Now the recognition is that, however it will happen, the work will get done, and flexible working arrangements work very well. They can. So from a perspective of effectiveness of flexible work arrangements, I think this is really, really powerful. And what is also now making economic sense for businesses is, and this is across, they're giving up real estate or offices that they had occupied. They are cutting down on wage bills. They're cutting out on real estate costs. So it's becoming a business proposition and not a woman thing or a women thing that we want flexible working arrangements. It's actually becoming a business imperative and will become a cost-saving measure for many businesses as they look to see more and more women or more and more of their workforce. So I think the good thing is gender neutral, that more and more workforce will work from home, or at least part of the time work from home. So that's going to help many women who had to give up working because they have duties to pick up and drop children from school, or they have other duties to look after the elderly at home, or it's not only about children, just being at home to be able to supervise other things. All of that can happen, and I can assure you that if anyone of people who are working with me, my fellow women colleagues, all of them are managing this brilliantly, working from home. They may have a 16 to 18 hour schedule, sleep is getting cut, but yet everything is getting managed. So I think flexible work arrangements are here to stay, and people have recognized that these are beneficial both to the talent that was sort of going away. We were losing that talent. Now it's a chance to bring that talent back into the fold. The other question you asked, Sanjeev, if I may answer that, I think Manjuji raised a good point what the Institute can do to support women. I think building on that training program about personality development, self-assertion, And I think this is a great point that Panjuji made, that women who are aggressive are labeled aggressive, women who are timid are kind of labeled as not being capable. I think and I believe that women also need the guidance. So A is the sensitivity to men and not to women, to understand that it's not about labeling women. It could be, if it's a man can be aggressive, a man can be not so aggressive. So is the case with a human being who's a woman also. So those are human traits and not gender specific. But what could be done in terms of training for aspiration index build up? Because as I said, where we lack in aspiration, help us aspire to grow into leadership roles. What are the right things in terms of what would a woman want from a mentor? What would woman want from a sponsor? What are the things that you can do right? Because ultimately my belief is it's merit that takes you to whatever role you want to get into, not because you are a woman that you will get into the role. And I don't think women want any kind of favors to be done to them. Women just want an opportunity, and that opportunity has to come from a positive bias towards women. If an organization does not consciously go and make those avenues to give women an opportunity, then there'll be thousands of years. And World Economic Forum every year puts out data to say that how many years will take for us to bridge the gender gap at workplace. So whether it's from a gender pay perspective, whether it's from an opportunity perspective, I think a business leader or a promoter of a business who recognizes what value women bring to the table, and if they have the right intellectual capability, if they have the qualification for the job, giving them preference over another one, because typically women are always sidelined for the role. So institute could help the cause of doing trainings that help women build up their aspirational index. That's my point. And I get very passionate about this, so I can see in my note, in my tone, that it's getting very, very, very.
Yeah. I can see that, and we will certainly encroach upon your time to give some of these trainings, Sonu, because I can assure you that these will be implemented.
Happy to do so. Thank you,
Yeah,
Sanjeev.
thank you. Manjuji, taking a cue from what Sonu said, I would like to have your perspective that how you operationalize flexi working in your own practice for your own employees during these COVID times. While we all of us understand the need, but how you actually operationalize, and have you been benefited? Have you been not been benefited? If you can throw some perspective on that.
Yeah, definitely. So when this COVID thing came, and of course it came all of a sudden, we were all not prepared for it. And we had to tell our staff, okay, we are closing the office, but we'll all be working, and we'll all be working from home. And I would say it has really helped us in terms of, like, the productivity has increased, the traveling time has reduced, or practically it was zero, and the traveling cost has been zero. I'll just share one example with you. Like, I had an assignment at the Tuticorin port. So I was supposed to go. They had already fixed the meeting for first week of April, and I was supposed to go. And traveling to Tuticorin from Delhi takes one full day traveling and one full day coming back, and only 2 hours meeting. That means 3 days gone. So when COVID happened, and I had to tell them, see, we will not be able to travel, or I will not be able to travel, and so they agreed for a Zoom meeting. So many of our clients, especially in the government sector, were not ready for the Zoom meetings or the virtual conference. So we were able to do all that during COVID times. And let me just share with you, I think we have done better during COVID time as compared to the earlier period, because of, like, the staff was working from home. So they were available right from 7 o'clock up to 10 o'clock. Of course, they were not enjoying it, but we knew that they are available, and they were available throughout the week, like with no break. And then it was beneficial for them also. I remember two of my chartered accountants, they were from Nepal. So they said, ma'am, now since going to be a very long gap, or this thing, we will go to Nepal and we'll work from there. They worked from there. So it worked for the advantage of both the sides. One of our team members, she got married. And her husband was in Ahmedabad. So she asked me, can I go for 3 months to Ahmedabad? I said, yeah. I found that her productivity was more. So in fact, these flexible working hours And this working from home during COVID has been really beneficial for us. And we managed all this. Of course, we had to upgrade our IT systems, and we had to upgrade our processes. We had to develop many trackers through which we were tracking their daily progress and work, and we were actually having at least one whole team meeting once a day. So it really worked very well for us. In fact, even now we have only 50% office strength in physically present, and 50% of our teams or the members are working from home. It has really worked very well.
That's really great. Our members who are, I mean, over 2,000 members are watching this, so they have a real perspective that how it was operationalized. That's really great, Manjuji. Moving on to you, Sonu. Uh, Many reports have predicted that companies with more women board members generally outperform competition and show increased shareholder value. I asked this question in the first panel also, but this is such an important question. So there is more intangibles when women board members are higher. But have you experienced that women are overlooked when it comes to the leadership role? And because you are also a member of many of the board forums, you organize those kind of programs. So what's your outlook or what's your experience around this?
So, Sanjeev, my view on this is straightforward. I don't think women, and I said this earlier to the answer to the earlier question also, that it's not about women being some sort of lucky mascots that you make them as member of your boards and therefore you become a successful company. You become successful because of hard work, because of the business idea you have, or what you're doing in terms of your client delivery. So it's not about just getting a woman on board and you're fine. I think the point here is women getting an opportunity. Businesses are successful because they recognize the worth of the talent that they have in women, and they are giving them the right opportunity or the right platform to be able to for them to realize their worth, and businesses are therefore thriving. I know statistically on the net, if you Google, there are lots of reports which talk about how women boards are more successful than men. In pandemic times, we had this situation that countries led by women leaders were more successful at managing the spread of the COVID, and all of that is fine. But I think what is underlying those women is their capability, their intellectual, their merit, their hard work, which is really the reason why businesses are successful. So I would say, shareholder value goes up because they chose the right person for the job. Man or woman is secondary.
Thanks, Sonu. Manjuji, we have received one question from the participant. That what's your experience when you have to go to the income tax department or the GST department for the assessment, the ROC, etc. Whether it poses any challenges if you are a women practitioner, how easy or how difficult it is, and if you've been managing it well, then are there some tips that you would like to share with our members who are in practice?
Sanjeevji, actually, I have never headed or worked for the income tax practice or GST practice because I was in the audit vertical when I joined practice, whether ISA audit or Ind AS audit, and then now I'm working as a financial consultant. But I'm sure because the other women team members in my office, they go to the income tax department and they say that in fact they are received well and they don't face any challenge. And I don't think, first of all, I don't have experience in that, but I don't think that my colleagues face any challenge while facing the income tax or the GST department.
Okay, that's great. Sonu, moving on to you, that what do you think that how important is women empowerment for sustainable development of economy, nation, and the world as a whole?
Again, a big answer, and maybe what Manjuji and I have said probably all together. So, a woman who has the ability to work 18 to 20 hours, who has qualities of empathy, emotional quotient, multitasking, the ability to look after everyone, this is a homemaker for you. Imagine a country or a business or the world without women. and as it happens, women are about 50% of our population. So I think it's not about empowerment. We are already empowered. We are the Devi. I mean, we are in a country where, the goddess Devi is supposed to be the power of the root of all the divinity in this world. So I don't think Devi needs empowerment. The Devi needs recognition. And if it happens, great. Those who choose to follow the Devi ultimately rise to new heights themselves, right? So maybe on a very earthly note, I would say that it is not, we don't need any empowerment. You just give us the platform, you just give us the opportunity, if because you're controlling those sort of male bastions. But I think we are empowered, we are born empowered. It is for us women to influence the
I think we lost the connection. Manjuji, are you able to hear Sonu?
Not now.
Okay. So we'll wait for her to be back. In the meanwhile, Manjuji, I can ask you one more question, which has been asked by one of our participants. What are the? I mean, do you think how important is a continuous upskilling of the women member? I mean, while it is important for everyone, how important it is, and how you have been upskilling. I know that you have done the IFRS course, but apart from that, since then, say since 2010 when you did the IFRS course, how you have been upskilling and how is it important?
See, Sanjeevji, first of all, I would say that there is no difference for the requirement of upskilling between a female or a male professional. They both need to be upskilled because it's only through upskilling that they will be aware of the latest changes. And in fact, I would say that, in my office, when the chartered accountants, they go after the articleship and when they qualify. So I always tell them three things. One, be a student for life, whether a male or a female chartered accountant. You have to be a student for life and have to learn about not only the professional developments but also the surrounding market ecosystems such as the government policy, because it is only when you are aware and you keep yourself up to date that you will be able to respond to the changes to your advantage. One has to stay ahead of the learning curve by being proactive and being reactive and not only firefighting when the situation comes. Just I said that I've already told you I did the IFRS course in 2010 and did the pilot project for the institute also in 2010. So when IND-AS was formally mandated in 2016, we already had the teams trained and we did a lot of assignments. In fact, our firm did a lot of assignments on IND-AS implementation, and so that was the advantage we took. So what I would say, whether men or women, we always have to be updated and be a student of for life.
That's great. So Sonu is back. Sonu, would you like to complete your response to the earlier point of discussion which we were having when we lost you because of the network issue? I think again we are
She's still not there. She's still
Yeah. That's fine. We'll wait for the network to be better. So then, in the meanwhile,
something that you have.
Sonu, are you back?
I can hear you if you can hear me.
In between, the voice is
Can
breaking.
you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. So maybe you can switch off your video till the time this network.
I don't know whether you can hear me or not.
So there is a a lot of
Is this better?
I mean
Maybe
number of
I just
yes,
unchecked it.
this is
So
better.
can you hear me? So I'm saying
This
like
is
from empowerment. I don't know if you can hear me now.
yes,
Yeah,
we can
we
hear
can hear
you. So
you.
if you would like to
We can hear
complete
you.
your response earlier.
So I think I did finish my question response to the question, Sanjeev. I think it's not about empowerment to be given by anyone. Women are empowered. Imagine a country, imagine a home without a woman who's the homemaker. Imagine a country which doesn't have contribution from women. So for me, it is not about women being superior to men. I think it's about equal opportunity. So long as women get the equal opportunity, we are fine. We can show we are no less. We have the merit and the brains to be able to deliver on the job. Whether it's the role of the prime minister of the country, whether it's the role of the president or the CEO, or whether it's just doing what we do. And it's for me, it's also about choice. I'm not saying any one thing is better than the other. If a woman feels happier being at home, it's her choice to be able to take a break and be at home. If a woman wants to continue working and wants the support of the ecosystem, then that's what businesses need to do to be able to support women in carrying out their work responsibilities. So I think you talked about pandemic. One of the things that has happened, which is brilliant, is also that more and more organizations are thinking of setting up people from home. So getting women to work from home, having their home set office setup is a great step forward, and we will see a massive change in business environment as well as in the economy as women get more and more of their rightful share in space. Sanjeev, you're on the mute.
Yeah. So, so thanks for that response, Sonu. And in addition, or rather in continuation of what you said, now when we know that the new normal in place, and we have talked of many industries and the IT industry also moving on to the flexi working policy, another question that comes in the mind of those who have not shifted to this, that how do they keep control on the quality of work while the quantity of work can certainly be done. So how do you keep a tab on the quality of work? And secondly, for manufacturing organizations, well, the production has to happen on the shop floor. So what are the areas in manufacturing organization where they can institutionalize this work from home? So one, how do you ensure quality? And second, in manufacturing organization, is there a limited opportunity of having this work from home, or you think there are still many areas in manufacturing organizations as well to introduce the system of flexi working? So no.
Yeah, thanks, Sanjeev. So I think about quality again. I would say the usual systems follow. From a services perspective, anything that is delivered in our at least in our organization, the same quality protocols follow. Manufacturing it has to be ultimately on site, so that is their businesses have to take due precautions, and that is what we see across that businesses have put in place all the right measures to ensure the safety of all workmen and workwomen, if I may say so, and that is taking care of it. But quality, of course, has to be maintained, and the usual stuff, whether you're working from home or the other, the review process has to continue.
Right. Thanks, Sonu. Manjuji, what's been your experience around the clients? Uh, uh, have you faced clients saying that now your staff is working from home, so you reduce the cost that you charge us? Or is the client saying that, look, we are working from factories and office and your audit teams are not coming uh, to our place? Or is there anything else which you are hearing from client which hampers your work from home or the flexible work arrangements?
Luckily, Sanjeevji, we didn't face any of such problems. And except for a few cases where the clients insisted that the staff should travel to their place of or to their office, luckily we didn't face any resistance. And in fact, the clients were very happy because there was very less traveling, and so they really cut down on the travel cost, and so we didn't really face much of problem except few cases.
No, this is really great. And, we have also observed at the ICI, the Sustainability Reporting Standard Board, which I chair, or the Accounting Standard Board as a vice chair, we also introduced this work from home, and we did not face a challenge. Rather, the productivity increased. Yes, on whichever days it was mandatory. If we were experiencing a bandwidth issue, then maybe on certain days we have advised our teams to be in office at least, if you're doing an international program and bandwidth is an issue at their home, then yes, we have advised. In fact, at ICI also, we have undertaken many initiatives, particularly during the COVID pandemic, whereby our members get opportunity of working from home. And even in my sustainability board, we came out with a new certificate course, and all the faculty. Also, we have approached faculty was also teaching online. We did about 19 certificate course on Indeas, and again the faculty was teaching online. So whether it's a question paper making or a case study preparation, all happened online, and we actually felt that the quality and the speed has actually increased. So I agree with that perspective. So on a closing
Sanjeev,
note,
I was going to say,
yeah, Sonu, please go ahead.
I
So
was,
first Sonu can add, and then Manjuji you can
Okay.
add. Yes, Sonu.
I was going to say, Sanjeev, it's not quality that worries me. It's now the fact that we need to have some boundaries, because working is, as Manjuji also pointed out, in the context that as an owner of the business, you're working almost 24 hours, thinking 24 hours about what's going on. But I think what is happening from work from home is that everybody is constantly working. So the boundaries probably now need to be redefined in terms of when to stop working. Because I can speak from the experience of my people and myself, that working days are just going on endlessly, because in order to prove our ability to manage this well, we are working longer hours. I think that's where quality may eventually suffer if we don't continue, if we continue like this and not create boundaries.
Yeah, I agree. So Manjuji, while you can add
So
on to,
I 100% agree with Sonu
yeah,
ji that the time boundaries at least need to be redefined so that the employees do not feel that they are working 24 hours. And what I wanted to add was that what we have seen in our organization, that the documentation has really improved. Because earlier, when the staff was going or the team was going to their client's place, of course they were taking the documents and doing the documentation, but through the electronic mode, the clients are more sharing, and at least in our office the documentation has really improved. This is one experience I can share.
so Manjuji, an additional question to you is from Veena Pillai from Ahmedabad. She's saying that in spite of so many women in the field of accountancy, why we don't have women-only firms?
Will that survive? Will that survive? Because I initially said, I'll again repeat, there are three challenges I think which a women practitioner alone or the women practitioner in a group without a male member will face, or I think do face. One is that the clients do not, at least the small and the medium clients, do not take you seriously because they feel that always the women will have the family before the profession. If there is any urgency in the family, they will leave the professional work. Secondly, I said that there is a very thin line between being assertive or aggressive and the putting your point before the client. And thirdly, the timings. The the timelines, they are so flexible that the work is there on your mind 24 hours. So these are some of the problems I think that all women or the lone women practitioner would face.
Okay. Sonu, what's going to be a closing message for our women TA members who have grown up to 87,000 in number out of about 310,000? Any message, any words of wisdom for them, which will inspire them?
think she's again mute.
No, she's not on mute. Probably the bandwidth
video?
issue. Yeah. Please go ahead,
It's
Sonu.
off. So I think maybe camera is not a good idea here. So Sanjeev, if I were to first, actually was very curious before I answer the question. I want to know how many men were attending, or was this a women-only webinar? Can you hear
Sorry,
me?
we are not. Yes, we can hear you now. Can you repeat your
Okay.
response, Sonu? Sorry.
Sorry, actually, I was asking whether we have any men on this webinar, or is it women only?
For in the participants, I don't know. I am the moderator, so certainly you can say I am there. And apart from Satish Gupta ji, the Central Council member is also like to join shortly.
Okay.
He's
That's
joined.
good. So Satish is there.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things I would request the institute, when these webinars happen, we should invite it to men, invite men and women both. Because we want to be able to sensitize fellow practitioners or fellow chartered accountants about what we think are women-related issues, if they are issues, or also the strength and what women bring to the table. So let's make that digital. Then my closing message to my women colleagues is really about saying, and I think some of this Manjuji said, the need to constantly work on your skills. We are living in an era where there is a constant refurbishment of skills that is required. So keep looking into the future or reading up, and internet is a massive information database as to what you want to do next, what's your new area of proficiency that you want to get into. Having become a chartered accountant, I know we kill ourselves to become a chartered accountant in terms of the hard work we put in to become a chartered accountant, but ensure that you're constantly looking out for the next sort of skill that you want to be. Don't allow yourself to become complacent. Don't allow yourself to become obsolete. As we study in our business, assets become obsolete, so does human asset become obsolete if the knowledge is not constantly renewed. Maintain your curiosity. I think if you're curious to know about anything and everything, and you have hunger for learning, it manifests in the quality of work you deliver. It manifests in any topic of conversation you have. Then you don't feel left out because you have a point of view about it. I strongly encourage women to have a point of view, whether it's on the economy, whether it's on any burning issue in the country, it's on the budget, or whatever be the topic. If you have a point of view, you have a lot to contribute to the dinner table conversation, to a client meeting, to a client conversation, to the corridor conversations. Love what you do. If you don't love it, then you won't make the effort when the going gets tough. And for women particularly, you have to really love your work. Otherwise, the temptation or the suggestion from well-meaning family and friends, stop working, your husband is doing well, why do you need to work, why do you have to put yourself through this extra hours of work, etc. All of that sort of starts to play on your mind. Unless you really love your work, without passion you can't be good at anything. I believe that, and that's true for all, whether men or women, whether it is sports or any other area of proficiency. I think it is the passion that makes the difference. So please bring your passion to work, and you will definitely rise to new heights, is what I believe. And then in our business as chartered accountants, client is the king, right? Client is a consumer and client is a king. So what the client wants, whether you've gone into a meeting, prepared it in a certain manner, but the client changes its pitch and wants you to do something, that's the important thing. Listen to the client and change your style or change your presentation according to the client's needs, etc. And then, of course, you have to be a team player. You're not going to win. We couldn't have won at the cricket match in Australia had it not been for the grit and determination of the team at Gawa. So think along those lines and make sure that you're always working together as a team, and of course continue to hold yourself responsible, accountable for your own growth and aspiration. That's what I would say as my closing words, Sanjay.
That's really great, and also linking into India's victory with the grit and determination. I think that summarizes it all. Thank you so much, Sonu. Manjuji, any quick closing message from your side?
I would definitely have a closing message. See, the closing message is that we are actually, I have some net issues, so I'm just, my video is off. So
That's fine.
we are always thinking, especially the young chartered accountants, I have a message for them, those who want to come in practice, that we are always thinking about the traditional audit practice. So they should think about areas which are beyond the audit practice. They should transition in role from accountant to finance. We as CAs have a lot of financial acumen, but we always think like accountants, and we are busy in functions which are related to accounting, compliance, regulatory, hygiene, for example, audit, financial reporting, and things like that. While these are all good to have, but these are all support services and they are not strategic in nature. So one advantage that we chartered accountants have is that we have a very deep understanding of the numbers, the bottom of approach, which gives us an edge over other professionals like MBAs. So by looking at the financial statements, the numbers in the books of accounts, we can drive financial insights that can drive the business strategies. So one area in this respect I will say is working working as a virtual CFO for the startups and the SMEs. This is one area, because the startups and the SMEs, they cannot afford a full-time CFO. So virtual CFO can work for a number of startups and can contribute a lot to the strategy and to the decision making and charting their future course of action. The other area that I can think of, a new area, is, we as chartered accountants, we are highly trained in data collation and reporting within a given framework. So while we bring this skill to financial reporting traditionally, we can also bring this skill to non-financial reporting. So a new area which is coming up is the sustainability reporting, which the institute has taken the initiative of starting a course which is being where Sanjeevji, you are the chairman. So by reporting on the non-financial parameters, so this is basically to ensure the sustainable growth of the companies, where the growth of the company does not come at the cost of negatively impacting the ecosystem. So the various the ESG parameters, the environment, the social, and the governance parameters. So by joining this initiative of ICAI, this is another non-traditional area where the young chartered accountants can focus. So this is my message, that let's not just focus on the traditional areas of practice. Let us explore the non-traditional areas where we can use our skill set.
Thank you so much, Manjuji. Sustainability is close to my heart, and I think we have been able to turn around in less than 1 year. So before I hand it over to my council colleague Satish Gupta ji for his closing remarks, if the participants can also suggest the areas where we should conduct more such programs, technical areas, soft skill areas, then we'll be grateful. You can keep posting, and this will reach to us. And on my behalf, I'm thankful to Sonu and Manju, both for sparing their valuable time, and more so for sharing the valuable insights which are practical, which are pragmatic, and which are really implementable. Also thankful to CA Richa for organizing this program, and to Shreya as well for the entire conceptualization of the program. Shreya, I just saw you in the list. So over to you, Satish Bhai, for your concluding remarks. Thank you very much to all the panelists for both the panels. Thank you. Over to you,
Thank
Satish
you. Richa, you have to speak something, or should I continue?
No, sir, I was just to invite you only, which Sanjeev sir has already invited you for the closing remarks.
You will invite me. I don't want to take your share. No?
Yeah, Richa, over to you.
Okay, so thank you so much, Sanjeev sir, for a wonderful session. The panel discussion was indeed amazing, and I was jotting down points for my benefit too. And the panelists were really amazing, and the moderation done by you was superb. I'd like to invite Satish Gupta sir for his closing remarks and vote of thanks. Over to you, Satish sir.
Thank you, Richa. For Sanjeev Bhai, again I would say that he is the person who is the most likely choice for any panel, for the panel, moderator in any panel program of accounts, of finance, of audit, of sustainability reporting, whatever that is. He's such a wonderful moderator. He's such a knowledgeable person. Or it is always inspiring to listen him and to be a part of his panel programs. Really wonderful person, and I think WMAD has done a good job by inviting Sanjeev Bhai to moderate today's sessions, and it has, we all have seen that the level of the moderation and the level of participants which this program had. So I think I am thankful to the WMED for arranging such a nice program. WMED Directorate, their officers, Sanu Madam, for giving such a nice programs. I think the speakers, their level of the intelligence, their level of the knowledge, their level of delivery, their level of communication skills were far were beyond expectation. And Sanjeev Singhal जी सर तो क्या बोले उनके लिए, it's a wonderful person. So it was a very nice program. We enjoyed a lot. And you, Sanu, you and Kemisa madam, you gave us an opportunity to share the initiations of the committee for members in practice also to our members. I think this was a सोने पे सुहागा जो हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना कि we are giving several things in this WMED, and we are also giving them some more valuable things in CMP by CMP. So I think it was a wonderful program, wonderful blend of the programs, and I will have this program in memory for a big time. So now thanks to Kemisa ma'am for arranging this program. Thanks to Sanjeev sir. Thanks to Shanuji. Thanks to my dear Richa. She's a wonderful orator, wonderful communicator, and from a small town like Bikaner. But she's from the family of a chartered accountants. I think she deserves to be appreciated, and I know that she's a full of caliber. So thank you, Richa, and thank you the today's panelist, Jigar ji, Sonu ji, Komal ji, and all other panelists of the Ruchi ji, and then Pooja ji. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Sanjeev bhai. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you very
thanks.
much.
Thank you.